My name is Penance Amehia Okansi, and then I am married. My child, I actually had two children, okay? The first one was in 2015, and then it was a very bad experience. It was my first time, but then the experience was terrible. When I got pregnant, I was not married by then, but I was happy because I thought abortion was not an option or anything. But then when I got pregnant, I was strong, like the normal norms you see around. You see people getting sick and all. I was not feeling anything. So when I was 10, I actually went to the hospital a day before the baby was actually taken out. And then I was assured that everything was okay and then I was going to have a normal delivery. But to my surprise, I went home that very day and it was not easy. So I had to go back to the hospital. I didn't even know I was in labor because it was my first time. And then they said I had, I think, fetal distress. The baby was tired and then I cannot push it and all. So they have to take the baby out. And then they did. But when I saw the baby, I was not happy. It was a full-term baby, but the birth was very low. It was a very low birth. It was around 1.4 kg that time. And then because of the weight of the child, they had to take him to the NICU. And then where I was, there was no incubator. I don't know what they said, but they said they didn't have to. They had to transfer me from the police hospital to 37. So that's where I went to NICU with a baby, but I was actually on admission there. And they tried all the tests. They ran a lot of tests on him, and then he was fine. But when I went home from the hospital to the house, the baby would not sleep at night. The baby was just crying. We didn't know what actually was wrong. So we were just running from hospital to hospital. They did not diagnose him of any particular sickness or anything. But then later they said he had one combined immune deficiency, and then they have to do a bone marrow transplant and all. And then that was it. So the baby had to leave when he was 6 months. Yeah. Some of the stigma, it was in the house. Like, a lot of people come in to visit and then my child was not well. Myself, I had not seen a situation like that before. Because day in, day out, the baby was actually losing weight. And then the baby would not sleep on the bed. He was always in between my chest. They said one kangaroo style, I have to. And then it was very stressful because sometimes the baby would cough like 1 hour non-stop. And then people around were like, no, what is it? Everybody. They even gave me so much ideas. Then I didn't even know what to do. So it got to a time I was scared of my own child. And then sometimes when I go to the hospital, the stigma I faced there, the nurses and the doctors actually felt like I am exaggerating. Like the way I complained, the baby will not sleep. Anytime we get to the hospital, everything is normal. And then, they will run their tests, and then all the tests that they run, they don't see anything wrong with the baby, but I see the baby was not well. Yeah. Yeah, they were supportive, but it got to a time they were all scared as to the baby was getting smaller. If his normal birth weight was 1.4, and I am saying it's getting smaller, you should know what I am talking. It was getting scary. I feel that they were just scared to come closer. So anytime I wake up, I just do everything myself, and then I put him in big clothes so that he will look nice, and oh, that was it. Yes, I did. And then we actually went back. Anytime we go to the hospital, I see one doctor, and then sometimes I ask questions a lot. Like, what is going on? Why is the baby like this? Because I have seen people who were born with the same birth weight, but they were growing. So I asked a lot of questions, and they educated me. But they told me that condition was very rare. Like, it was not something they have seen in Ghana. And then even if they will have to do the bone marrow transplant, they have to take him to India, South Africa, or something. But what they told me, and then what I read about it, it was not the same. It was nothing similar to what they were talking about. The challenges. Sometimes the only challenge is that, the babies, they cannot talk and then tell you what is actually wrong with them. So I get really confused. I really get confused. And then one of the challenge, the most challenge, that one, I don't know how to put it. It was very difficult. People started telling me that what was wrong with the child is not normal, and it has to do with spiritual something. So that very moment, I was just confused. I didn't know what to do, because I was actually trying to go according to what the doctors say, but it was not working. Okay, so I had to try what they were telling me, and it was very challenging because I was doing all those and that, and then it was not working. The statisticians, like I said, they said, a lot of people, concerned family members, were actually seeking for like pastors' advice and all those things. And then some of them were like, I did something to somebody in the past, and they are getting back at me. And then some people also said probably when I was pregnant, somebody looked at me with a bad eye. So that would be the cause. And then the person actually did the thing when the baby was in the stomach, in the womb, before the baby came out. That's why his condition was like that. So they had remedies, a lot of herbal remedies. And then I just wanted my baby to be fine, because at the end of the day, I was actually going through pain more than anybody. So I was actually also asking them for more like solutions as to how to help me, but it was crazy. We did a lot of things that were very crazy, very. Yes. Sometimes they told me that this one, he needs a holy bath, and then you have to wake up at dawn, you stand on a 3 junction, 4 junction, then you bath the baby there. And then, imagine someone sees you doing this thing. So you have to do it fast and run back inside. It was crazy. It was crazy, but it didn't work. Yeah. The baby, how I lost the baby. His health, it got to a time he was coughing non-stop, 1 hour, sometimes 30 minutes non-stop. And then they asked me not to feed him with anything aside breast milk. And funny enough, he was not holding the breast straight for me. It was very stressful. I had to pump, pump, pump. And then, so when it got to 6 months, I was tired. I felt like, no, my baby, maybe he's not getting enough of the breast milk. So I have to feed him with this tin supplements. You know, they have naan and all those things. So one time I fed him and then he started throwing up. But you know, the day that I actually lost the baby, he was okay. He took everything, like everything I fed him with, he was taking it nice. I was even happy, like, oh, what happened today? On normal days, I give him food, he would just throw up. But this day, on that very day, he was taking it very well. So I had stayed home for long because of the child, like 6 months. So I went back to work. So I was at work and they called me that my baby had left. I was like, no. When I was leaving home, he was fine. And then today, he was even, I saw a lot of improvement before leaving. So I had to come home, and then when I came home, I saw him lying there lifeless. Everything was just coming out. Terrible. Because my baby was not looking nice before he left. He lost all his hair, even the eyebrow, eyelids, everything, no single hair. And then he was tiny. You could count the bones on his rib and everything. So when I saw him like that, I asked myself a lot of questions, okay? Like, but why me? Of course, everybody will ask, but who do I want it to happen to? So I felt very terrible. When that time, I thought that, oh, okay, I have been doing some prayers, so God would actually help resurrect this boy, okay? So I asked everybody to leave me with the child alone. I did everything, but I realized he was just gone. I was not sure. I was still not sure, because what he had passed through, the kind of like pains he passed through, sometimes the itching, he can scratch his body till you see like blood and all, and then he did not leave. So how come today that he was able to take his food, he was just smiling, everything, and then he just left like that? So I took him to the hospital. So the doctors would check if he was actually gone. And then they said yes. The second child, you know, because of my first experience, I was very scared. By then I had got married with the same man, of course. And then I was very scared. He was also scared too. So we had to go to the hospital. They ran a lot of tests, and then even sometimes I ran tests like without telling him, to see if everything was okay with me and all. But then, you know, within some time in the first child's, they told me that somebody actually told me that someone looked at me with a bad eye. So I have to do certain things to cleanse the womb before getting the second baby. But then, you know, all the things they told me, the herbs, everything, bathing at midnight, all those things did not work. And the baby actually left. The day they told me the baby will be fine, nothing happened. So I didn't even try all those things at all. So when I decided to have another baby, I actually went with the doctor's rule, like, just go straight to everything they were telling me. Everything was fine. It got to when I was, I think, 11 week, and I went to the hospital and the doctor told me that the baby was actually passing. So what did I do? Did I stress myself? Was I running? I was not doing anything. I was not doing anything. And then because of my first experience, I thought the doctors were not having time for me and all. That's why I chose him. So I have come for him to take care of me, examine and like check everything. And he realized that the baby was actually passing. So they have to do, what's the word? Cyclage. They had cyclage, yes. They have to tie the womb and then admit me for a week or two. They did all that, yes. And then I was fine. So I was going to the hospital every now and then, checking. I don't miss my antenatals for everything. Because of my first experience, I actually gave the doctor a lot of like pressure. He went through hell. Like, I call him anytime I feel anything funny. And then when it was 6 months, I told the doctor that I have sent someone. And then I am not supposed to do that, but I told them the person's stomach is not up to 6 months, but my stomach looks smaller than hers. What is going on? And he said, but you have been coming regularly and then everything is okay. I said, yes, I know everything is okay, but with my first experience, they told me I was losing water. I had lost water around the baby. That is why the baby was distressed. They had the fetal distress and they did the cesarean. So this time I don't want it. That is why I'm always checking. Actually, I am checking everything. So he asked me to lie down and then he was like, oh yes, I think the water is going down. So he put me on medication, some drips. They have to inject my thigh, oxygen, so it could go around the baby. They did all that. Okay, and then I have to be taking like 4.5 liters of water a day just to make the baby get enough water. I did that, and then they were actually checking. But all that they did, and then me taking water, being at bed rest, everything was just it was not working. They realized the baby was actually losing weight rather, and the water was getting finished. So it was an emergency cesarean. So they have to deliver the baby at 32 weeks. Yeah. And then they put him in the incubator again. And then when I saw this one, I was not happy at all because the first one was 1.4 and this one was, you know, when they detected that the water was going down and they admitted me with the water, drips, everything, they were doing it hoping that all those water could go around the baby so he would be fine. But he was actually losing and then losing weight too. They took the baby out and it was, that time it was 1.2. So when they took the baby out, he was 0.9. Yes, very small. Like, how can I handle this one? What will I do? And then it was my second time. I have not had any good experience with childbirth, I tell you. So when I saw the baby, I actually gave up. Okay? I was like, no, this one is not going to stay. Because that one was 1.4 and this is as small as 0.9. How? The doctor was giving me assurance, no, you'll be fine. He showed me pictures of other babies, 0.7 and all, meaning that this one is okay. But the chances were less because I was told that the chances of the female preterm baby surviving is very higher than the male children. But I put him in the incubator and then he was just responding to treatment, but all of his body parts were formed already, everything. He was just, so they tried to lower the oxygen and to see if he can be able to do without it. And he survived, he passed. I was taking care of this baby, unlike the first one that would not, that one had failure to thrive, okay? But this one was responding. I took care of him till he was like 2.2. Yes. Yes. So anytime I get to the hospital, even the nurses were scared, but I took care of him. I was not bathing him, nothing at all. And then it was just me, no family member, because I don't want those drama like, use this herb, use that one. Nothing. It was solely me, just me. I was doing everything. By the time I got to the hospital, the doctors were very impressed, very, to see how the baby was just responding. But all the time, He has high temperature. And I was told that this doctor actually educated me a lot. I bought thermometers, everything that I need to check the baby when I am not in the hospital. So anytime I wake up in the morning, I actually have a sheet of paper that I do tracking and then I send to the doctor. So he told me that when the temperature is like 38 plus, there is a problem, so I should bring him to the hospital. I don't do anything to this baby. They asked me not to bath the baby, nothing. But anytime he wake up, his temperature was just rising. So we went to the hospital. I called a few friends. Of course, I called your wife too. I said, but what is going on? And they told me it was typhoid. At his age, typhoid, how? So they have to put me, my husband on treatment. They thought it was from us because it was just the two of us that was going close to the baby. They treated a child of typhoid. I called some few doctors. They were like, it's not possible that this child can get typhoid. But they treated him and then all. So I realized that that hospital was not helping me. Because sometimes I get to the hospital and the doctor will be like, what is it again? Sometimes he will just pass and then not even come into our ward because he felt that I was overreacting. But because of my experience, I was scared to lose this one. I tried everything, so I asked him to give me a transfer to Ridge Hospital. I went to Ridge and they were like, okay, this time they want him to be in the incubator. I said, no. He was in the incubator when he was 0.9. I was like, what? So you took care of him from? I said, yes, I did. They got angry. And then they gave us a ward. But they started discussing certain things. And then any word I hear and I don't understand, I want to investigate. I want to read more about it. They have a team of doctors. The doctors came around. They said the baby looks syndromic. And then other doctors too were like, no. There is nothing wrong with the baby. He has a double chin. Okay, the mother too had a double chin. Like he did this. They did everything. So when we were there, they were trying to see the temperature, but it actually went down. We were there for a week. It went down. Everything was fine. And then they discharged us. So I went home on a Saturday, and just overnight, I was in the room and then everybody was leaving the house. So I quickly went to the bathhouse so I could just wash down. And then when I come, I will not leave him alone. I came back and I realized that my son's eyes were just rolling like that. I was like, no, what is this? But if this child was not fine, they wouldn't have discharged us from the hospital. I took the baby. I didn't know what else to do. So I had to pray. I prayed, and then all of a sudden it looked as if he was okay. So I have to put him down, sleep beside him, and then later in the day, around 3:30 to 4, he had a seizure. Yes, I was like, but what is this? I checked the temperature was normal. Because they told me that if it's above 38, that's the only time that he can have a seizure. So we went back to the hospital. The doctors were like, no, but this child was just discharged yesterday. They put us down. They have some drips and everything. Medications, I don't know what time they used to call it. But then we were there on admission again. And then it was continuous. It's not like just one. That very day, it came like 4 to 5 times. So after 3 days, I think they were doing changeover. So I was sitting down, I was eating, and then one of the doctors, I called them, the nurses, won't you check my child today? And then they came to check the pulse. And then because I have a lot of education from the previous clinic, I was like, no, I told the nurse, no, this is not good. And she said, are you sure? I said, yes, I know this is not good. And then, I have the pulse oximeter. I had everything. I had the thermometer gun, his temperature was okay, but it was the pulse that was going down. I said, no, go and call the doctor. So I told them to take their machines off, so I will use mine. Because I had everything too. I used mine, and then, no, the oxygen in the blood was going down. But he was actually on oxygen, so what is going on? He was on oxygen, what is happening? So I went out. I felt they were wasting my time. I went out, I rushed to call the doctor. And then they came, and then they were, what do you call it? They were, so they could revive him. I said, no, but what is going on? And then they put him to, they went to the NICU and they put him on something. They said life support or something. So I was there, and then, I can actually understand the readings on the screen. And I was like, okay, so if he's not breathing by himself, you are supporting him. How come it was okay, it was like 90 something, and then that is okay. So I went back and I came. It actually started in the night. I went back and I came, I was like, the thing is dropping. So family members came and they were like, oh, the child is fine. I said, no, he's not fine. He is not breathing himself. It's just the machine that is helping him to do it. And the readings there is not so good. They said, are you a doctor? And they don't know that I actually read a lot about it. So before the doctor could come to me, I was like, what is the matter? Now I had seen everything already. I understand. It was 50-50. So they were just hoping that it will go up, but it was actually dropping. And then I was just standing there watching it, and then it went being 0-0. And I said, okay, I understand. They said, you understand? I said, yes. The baby is gone. How do you understand? I said, no, don't ask me, but I have seen everything there. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I should cry. But that very moment, I actually lost hope in medical things, there's herbal things, and then even spiritual things. I don't want to listen to anything. Okay, so I went back to the ward. I was waiting for my husband and the family. And then I see other babies. That is when I started getting emotional. Okay. And then the most painful part, I went back to where he was lying. And then what broke my heart, like, I had to watch them take my baby from the life support machine, and they placed him in a box. That is when I started crying, like, how? It was very painful. When I went home, it was very terrible. But I don't know what to say. I am hoping that anything I say here will not cause any problem. But then when I went home, I felt that I understand human situation a lot, and then anything that happens, if I don't understand, I try to read about it, and I know how to relate to people. But then some people in the family started stigmatizing me. I heard a lot of stories. Somebody said, oh, it's from the family. My dad did something, and then this is what is the payback time. He's supposed to go and say thank you. He did not go, and then this is happening. I was like, oh, wow. Because dead men don't talk. Because my father had died, I think, 8 months to this. And then I felt that they were very mean. But I was going through hell. In that very moment, I didn't even know where to sleep. I thought, I was like, no, I cannot stand going to the same room that I was with my child before I took him to the hospital, and then he left. And I came to the house and they were like, this one was saying what they want. At least you should wait for a day or two. I am just coming from the hospital. I lost my child that very day. And then you are saying all these things already. Like my father did something like spiritual things, and no. It's crazy. Yeah. I don't know why when things like this happen, the fault is always the women. Like they don't see anything wrong with other people. The man, nothing. It's just the woman. It actually, there was what they said that evening, the mood swings, the reactions. I'm not saying that anybody should feel pity or sad for me or nothing. There is nothing. Actually, I was not, because nobody can just bring my son back. And that very moment, that is the only thing I want. Not anybody, nothing at all. But I was shocked. Yes. I'll not even think of having children at all. But I really wanted to. I love children, but I'm not lucky with it. So what will I do? Because I tried everything that I could, and then they did not stay. It was a bad experience. See, once the children are taken out, okay, it's just trouble. I don't go anywhere. I am locked in the room. You saw me, like, all alone. Nobody visits me. Even when Nadu came there, it was like when he was 2 point something before. And then, if I had a child and then they just leave, okay, I wouldn't feel pain. Like they will have to stay with me. Like the first one was with me for 6 months, and this one was 3 months, 2 weeks. And then you have to spend the pains that you go through. And then I had all the children through cesarean. Because of the condition of the children, their conditions, they don't even take care of me. They don't have time for me again. All the concentration is on the children. And then later, I still lose them. So now I am even scared to hear anything pregnancy. 2 days ago, I could not sleep because my pressure was like 150 already because my husband spoke about childbirth. I do not want to hear anything. Yeah, I'm scared. Very. My husband, he is very soft, okay? Now he didn't know how to keep the balance. He was just like in between family and me. And then, I think he had some discussions with my dad before. And then my dad, when he gets happy, he just says anything at any time. So he was just believing like, okay. And then he had one nurse friend. And then she, according to her, she's a psychologist or whatever they call it at Kolibu. And then she was a pastor as well. So you see the combination. My husband believed her. And then to my surprise, she came to tell my husband that these things, they are not normal because medically, she was there. She saw all the reports. They did everything. They did not see anything wrong with the child. So it could be that my father, where she is also coming from. When that case was actually dying, she brought another one. My family, they should ask my father or they should check my family background because when she was growing up, she went out with some guys and then all of them, when they talk of marriage, they leave her. Until one time she had a dream and then she saw that anytime someone wants to approach her with marriage, the father will come in between. So she went to the father to go and ask the father questions. Why this, why that? And the father admitted that he had done something when she was young. So that is what is haunting her. So the father went back to the village to go and pacify the girls. So it could be that my father has also done something like that. So we should go and then go and check. And then when my husband told me, I was like, how long have you known this girl? And then, why do you believe this thing? And then he believed it, like, hey, a pastor's wife telling me this. And she's a nurse too, and the husband is a doctor. Oh, then it's coming from a very reliable, like, we have to do something about it. You have no idea the kind of things we have to do just to go and see if it was true. Because my father was dead, and then we cannot go to the graveyard and then go and talk to him and then he will respond. So then you have to do findings like the girl said. it brought a lot of issues because my belief did not, even though at that time, I didn't know where I stand. I don't know if I was actually a Christian until that happened. But after all the happenings, I didn't know where I was just standing like, but what is this? And then he would be like, how many times have you prayed? What happened? Nothing, and it was true. I had to call my grandfather because it was my dad's uncle. Do you know that my father has done something? Maybe he mentioned it to you, because for me, I don't know anything. I believe that anything that is happening to me or anything I have achieved was hard work and then grace. I don't believe my father did anything to keep me alive. So we went, and then he was like, nothing. He doesn't know anything. So he also had to go because he felt I was going through a lot of pressure. And the pressure at that time was very heavy. My husband's family wanted to know what was going on. No, it was something. It can't happen the second time. So we went, and then we went to a place. My grandfather took me to a place, said, see, me, I don't believe all these people. I don't even know, they have not come here before. Because when we were going, if he had actually come there before, he would not ask for directions and all. So when we got there, funny enough, the people that they said they were doing chanting, doing all those things, they put carries on the floor, they asked to see what is going on. See, I didn't talk, and I asked my husband not to say anything. So because I want to believe something. If they are able to tell me why we were there, I'll just follow them and then worship that thing straight away. So don't say anything. They asked me, speak on the money. I said, me, my money. It will not. So my grandfather had to give us money. We spoke on it, and then because nobody heard, he placed the money on the floor, and they were doing those chanting something. And then he was saying something different. And when you sleep, something has been attacking you. I said, Master, this is not why we came. Me, I was losing patience. So I told him, you know why we came? It's not because of my husband. They actually came because of me. That something is following me, and then I'm losing children. So please, that is what you are supposed to do. Call my father, wherever he is. Ask him if he has done something. Don't even call him. Check for us. And he was saying rubbish. Everything he said was just not in line with why we came. And then they were just lying. I said, you see, all these people are liars. They didn't say anything. Rather, he told me, yeah, when you get pregnant again, come, I'll take care of you. I just got angry. I wanted to leave them. My grandfather, no, wait. So when we got home, I didn't want to see my husband again. Like, but if someone tells you this, or you hear it in your family, all this while you have been with me, like, won't you at least listen to me? But I understand that he wants a child, and then he was going through pressure. He feels that, okay, I'm growing. But me, my body has gone through like 2 surgeries already. And then every time the babies come, I am there. My feet, everything was swollen. They have to put my feet on this thing. And then even when we were going to all those findings, we have to go with a taxi because I was not too well. So what is it? Why are you like following all these people? And then because I wanted my child to be alive, I was spending money, like a lot of money. I don't wait for you to come. So why are you like, he didn't know. I told you, he didn't know where to stand. He was just in between. He was confused. And up till now, both of us are scared, like us too. So I was surprised when he told me. I had thought about all these things, and I have pressure because of this. So when he spoke about pregnancy again and childbirth, I said, no, I'm not sure it's me. No. I wanted to be left alone, okay? So we were in my in-laws' house, and then I left because our own place was not ready. I left to a place around Atiko, Uwashi, with a friend. I didn't tell my husband where I was going because I was disappointed, like, what is going on? I thought we were supposed to be together. So I went there, and then my friend goes to work, and then I'll be all alone. That is what I wanted. I wanted to be alone and then see I wanted to console myself. So when I come out, I will not talk about anything concerning the children. I told you the last time I spoke about this thing was in August. Yeah, I don't talk anything about it. So when I resumed work, people were like, are you sure? No, I heard something like this. Up till now, they still doubt as to like, hey, is it true her child is no more? They don't know. No, they don't know. They might have heard. But the way I come out and then you see me, there is no way you can ask me that. So I just went to heal and then now I am fine. Now I was believing that it was from somewhere. Some pastors came in and they were like, when we were actually at the hospital, somebody came around. No, this thing that is happening, it's from here, it's from there. And then my husband doesn't want to hear that at all. So I got angry. If you don't want to hear this, why are you listening to other people? So if you listen to them, then me too, I want to believe that what the pastors are saying is true. Then it is from here, it is from that. And there was too much pressure in the house. So I called friends that can help me. I called Nadu if we could speak to her father-in-law and then mother-in-law, but he didn't want to come. He doesn't want to see anybody. And then there were too much problem. Oh, if I had known, I shouldn't. Okay, me too, I said some. Oh yeah, if I had known, I should have just left you. A lot of problems. So we moved to our new house and then for over 5 months, 6 months, we were not talking to each other. The tension was very high in the house, very. And then lockdown came in. Can you imagine? And then there was lockdown, and then I was just, anytime I get depressed, I was just gaining weight like that. And then all of a sudden, my pressure, I didn't even know that like what I was doing was actually causing problem. So now my husband was finding like, he wanted somebody that he can find. I don't know how to put it, but you see this lady, nurse friend, they became very close. Very. Oh, let's do this. And then he felt that was, so the lady realized that I was getting angry. So she doesn't want me as an enemy. So she made me her friend. Okay, your husband is complaining about your weight. I said, but why would he tell you? We started going jogging and all those things, but the pressure was still there. We hardly talk to each other. If he comes here, I go there, and then just because, oh, I have seen like, we have had fights, but this second child living was, all my life, I've never felt any pressure like that. It was a serious problem. Oh. If I had, I had a place to go, by then, that very moment, I think my marriage will be over that time. Yeah. I don't know. I am not sure. Because, sometimes I feel that I am going crazy. Anytime I think about it, and then I'll start having funny dreams. Hey, I have had a child and then the child is gone again. Even last time I spoke to Nadu again. And then I was coming here. Last Monday, I still had that dream again. And then all of a sudden, my husband is not here in Accra. He got a job in the Western region, so he's gone. And then the whole night, it's not like 1 hour. I could not catch one sleep just because I was scared. I was scared that, hey, what if I have another child again and then this time the child leaves me again? Hey, then my chances, because it's not like it's a natural birth. It's, that's... So the plans of having another child, I have run all the tests ever since I came home, like 6 to 7 already. And then they don't see anything wrong with me. But as to having the courage to get pregnant, I am sure when I realize I am pregnant now, I'll just collapse. Yes, I don't know how I'm going to do it. Yeah. I don't know how, I can't. I really want, okay? I really want somebody to call my own, now that I am all alone in the house. I don't have friends, nothing, but oh, what if I had these 2 children here? What if this? I went for a job interview last time, and then I saw the place. I was like, okay, oh, now that this place is very nice, and then I'll be starting work soon. So if my children were around, I'll not even think of making babies again. I'll just work, and take care of them. But now that they are not here, my husband still wants the child. If only me, if it's like left to me alone, what am I going to do? I'll just go and adopt and then forget it. Okay, but my husband wants somebody to call like his own, and then, but me, I believe that it's not the ones that will come from me alone that can be called mine. But with all this, okay, even if I have 10, I don't know how God is going to do it. I'll still adopt. Because the day my child left, I told you I was reading all those things on the screen. I saw people that had left their child and then they ran away. If nobody was around that time, I would have stolen one before God and man, like, and then I would go away from my husband, away from everybody, because I really wanted a child. But the nurses, everybody was there. And then these people, they are taking them to social welfare, orphanage, something. And me, I am trying everything, but mine will not pay. Especially to husbands. This one, it has nothing to do with a woman. I did not do anything. Nothing at all to cause my child's birth weight. Even the preterm, I did not do anything. Because when I got pregnant the second time, because of those low birth weight and the experiences, I was actually on that, like, what can I eat to make the baby this and that? And still I had that problem. So there is nothing that the woman can do about it. And then when it happens like that, it's not demonic. Our parents didn't do anything. And then, oh my God, it doesn't mean that the mothers are witches or they have supernatural powers. It just happened. Because if you ask me, I will not say that it has something to do with medical too. I don't know what I believe in now. Yes. Because I did everything medically and then it still happened. So I feel that if only there is something like that, it's grace. So when it happens like that, that is the time that, like, the woman, me, I hide my feelings a lot. Like, I feel that when I am too weak and I am showing you my weakness. But some other women will not. Until I got depressed and my pressure, I was admitted and I realized that I was killing myself. So I have to speak. Somebody like me will not speak, okay? And then they will just die slowly. So I feel that my advice that they will get closer. And then even if they are suspecting that it has something to do with spiritual things, they shouldn't say it to the mothers to hear. Because nobody at all wants bad things. Everybody wants to carry their child that they will call their own and all. And then when it happens like that too, I believe that the mothers have to be away from all this family drama. This is not like abroad that they will understand situations. Most of our people, they have primitive minds, like, let's do this, let's do that. Last time in my area, one lady died. I didn't even know she was dead. Just because she has been married for 4 years and she doesn't have a child. And the stigma is from her own husband. Do this, do that. If you don't give me a child. So everybody will show you, hey, you see this plant? When you mix it with that, you drink it, you'll be fine. And then she was following all of them. She had kidney problems. She is gone. They've not even buried her. But the husband got married to another woman and the woman is pregnant. So my advice to mothers, don't kill yourself over this. Okay? Marriage, yes, it's a blessing. And then when I was taking my vows, I didn't see anywhere that I was promised, like, okay, and then I'll give you children, I'll give you that. it's just a blessing that will come later. So I think that the mothers too, they have to take it easy. You don't have to kill yourself. Don't do anything extraordinary. I know one lady that was doing that. She had, I don't want to go deeper, she had fibroid and they said, she has 2 children already. Take it and then take your womb. She said, no, I think I need to give my husband a female child. She is gone. And then when I saw her casket, okay, it was very big. Like, she lost weight because of the cancer and all those things that she has been mixing to drink. There were enough space there in the coffin that they could have put in the, you know, the one of the child here, one here. But she left alone. So if you follow all that people will say and then do something to yourself because you want to please, you just die. You just have to take it easy. One day at a time. Yeah.